The brutal beauty of JRPG. Difficulty. Why Final Fantasy and Star Ocean push us to the brink. Gaming difficulty has evolved dramatically over the years. Older games didn't bother with sliders or settings. They were just hard. You either mastered the mechanics or rage quit into oblivion. Today, modern titles offer a spectrum of difficulty modes, from casual strolls to soul-crushing nightmares like Soulsborne games or Call of Duty's veteran mode. But while the grueling challenges of Elden Ring or Sekiro dominate difficulty discussions, there's a silent beast lurking in the shadows. JRPGs. Specifically, games like Final Fantasy and Star Ocean and their modern remakes deliver a punishing experience that can make even seasoned gamers question their sanity. I'm talking controller throwing, disc snapping, why do I do this to myself levels of difficulty. Let's dive into why these games are so brutal, why they're rarely celebrated for it, and whether we're all just masochists for coming back. It's the old school grind, no mercy, no options. Back in the day, games didn't hold your hand. Final Fantasy on the NES or Star Ocean on the SNES threw you into complex systems with minimal guidance. You had to figure out party compositions, resource management, and enemy patterns through trial and error, often with permadeath or harsh penalties for failure. There was no easy mode to fall back on. These games demanded patience, strategy, and a willingness to grind for hours just to stand a chance against a boss that could wipe your party in one turn. The lack of difficulty settings wasn't a design flaw, it was a badge of honor. Beating a game meant you'd conquered something truly formidable. Fast forward to today, and remakes like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Star Ocean. The second story retain that punishing DNA while adding modern polish. These aren't just nostalgic callbacks, they're precision-engineered torture devices. My friend spent 3 months trying to beat the first boss of FETA Remake on normal difficulty. 3 months. He's no slouch, someone who's cleared Dark Souls and breezed through Call of Duty campaigns, but this game broke him. The catch? You can't even unlock hard mode until you've beaten normal, a gatekeeping move that feels like the game taunting you. You're not ready for the real pain yet. Why JRPGs are secretly the hardest games. So, why do JRPGs like Final Fantasy and Star Ocean hit so hard? It's not just about high damage numbers or cheap enemy AI. These games demand a unique blend of skills that other genres rarely require simultaneously. 1. Strategic depth. JRPGs force you to master complex systems, party synergy, equipment loadouts, skill trees, and resource management. In FFFs Remake, you're juggling materia combinations, ATB gauges, and enemy weaknesses while dodging attacks that can one-shot your team. A single bad decision can spiral into a game over. 2. Patience and adaptability. Unlike Soulsborne games, where mastery comes from memorizing patterns, JRPGs often throw curveballs, status effects, random enemy buffs, or multi-phase bosses that demand entirely new strategies mid-fight. Star Ocean's bosses, especially in remakes, can feel like they're cheating with unpredictable combos or overwhelming AoE attacks. 3. Mental endurance. These games don't just test your reflexes, they test your will. A single Final Fantasy boss fight can last 20-30 minutes, requiring laser focus. One lapse in concentration, and you're back to the loading screen. My friend's 3-month struggle wasn't just about skill, it was about enduring the mental toll of repeated failure. FATCA 4. No hand-holding. While modern JRPGs have tutorials, they often leave you to figure out the finer points. 5th Remake. Hard mode, for example, restricts item usage and requires perfect resource management. You're not just fighting the boss, you're fighting the game's systems. The silent suffering. Why JRPG difficulty gets overlooked. Despite their brutality, JRPGs rarely get the same hardest games ever spotlight as Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Why? For one, the difficulty in JRPGs is less flashy. Soulsborne games are cinematic in their punishment. Every death is a spectacle of blood and despair. JRPGs, by contrast, are slower, more cerebral. The pain comes from grinding, tweaking, and failing quietly over hours. It's not the kind of difficulty that makes for viral Twitch clips. Secondly, JRPGs have a reputation as story games, which can overshadow their mechanical rigor. Forums and threads buzz about Final Fantasy's narrative or characters, not the fact that its bosses can make you question your life choices. The community focuses on lore or waifu debates, leaving the hardcore challenge discussions to niche Discord channels or Reddit threads.
Finally, JRPGs don't market themselves as punishing. Elden Ring wears its difficulty as a badge. Final Fantasy lures you in with cinematic trailers and emotional storytelling, then slaps you with a boss that requires a PhD in game mechanics to defeat. The contrast catches players off guard, leading to rage quits or, in my case, long breaks from the game. The masochist's cycle. Why we keep coming back. I've lost count of how many times I've sworn off Final Fantasy or Star Ocean after a brutal loss. I've wanted to yeet my controller into the TV, uninstall the game, and burn the disc. Metaphorically, discs are expensive. Yet something keeps pulling me back. Maybe it's the thrill of finally cracking a boss after dozens of attempts. Maybe it's the satisfaction of perfecting a party setup or landing that one combo that turns the tide. Or maybe I'm just a masochist. When the rage gets too much, I switch to something lighter. Lords of the Fallen for its forgiving checkpoints, or Fortnite for mindless fun with viewers. These games are challenging, but don't feel like they're actively trying to break my spirit. They're a palate cleanser, a way to cool off before I inevitably think, you know what? I'm ready to get wrecked again. Let's boot up Final Fantasy. This cycle, rage, retreat, return, isn't unique to me. It's a hallmark of JRPG fans. We experiment with party members, reconfigure materia or skills, and throw ourselves back into the meat grinder. Each failure teaches us something, even if it's just how to manage our own frustration. The games demand so much, quick reflexes, deep strategy, endless patience, that overcoming them feels like a personal triumph. But are we masochists or something more? So am I a masochist for loving these games? Maybe, but there's something deeper at play. JRPGs like Final Fantasy and Star Ocean don't just challenge our skills, they challenge our resilience. They force us to confront failure, adapt, and grow in ways that few other genres do. The difficulty isn't just a barrier, it's a teacher. Every loss is a lesson, every victory a testament to our persistence. The lack of mainstream chatter about JRPG difficulty only makes the experience more personal. It's like being part of a secret club, where only those who've endured Sephiroth Supernova or Star Ocean's superbosses truly understand the grind. So yeah, I'll keep coming back to these games even when they make me want to scream. Because when I finally win, it's not just a victory over a boss, it's a victory over myself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to get obliterated by Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's hard mode again. Send help or a new controller.